Quick one before we start, guys, because a few of you called this out last time and you were right. This isn't how footballers or managers think about games. Mikel Arteta isn't walking into the dressing room talking about buckets or points and all of that. Or is he? Because we've known him to do some really, really interesting things. This is fan level analysis, guys. We're stepping back and we're just understanding where points can be taken and points can be protected. So, you know, we're not telling you how players are going to prepare for a Saturday 3 p.m. game. So, consider this like a map rather than a match day plan. So, let's just sit back, enjoy it, a bit of fun. Let's get into it. Now, when we first did the road to 19, at that point in time, Arsenal had 39 points and they needed 51 points to get to 19 with 21 games left. Now we're sitting here as we're recording this now after game week 22, after the draw against Nottingham Forest, with Manchester United being the next game a week from now. Arsenal are on 50 points and they now need 40 points from 16 games. So we're not ripping up the model. We're just checking in just to see how we're doing. As some of you has put in the comments, that would be good for us to check in. So you wanted it, so I'm doing it now. So we're just asking a simple question. Is the road to 90 still working? Or where has the pressure shifted since we last did this? Okay, let's keep it simple, right? 40 points from 16 games. That's roughly 2.5 points per game. That's hard. But that's exactly what teams who need to win the title need to do. So the bat is still there, but the tolerance for cheap draws is definitely smaller now, guys. Before we look ahead, let's look what Arsenal has already done inside this model. We said the swing games are going to may define the season, right? And Arsenal have played two swing games, Brighton at home, Aston Villa at home, and we've won both. That's good news, right? So that's 6 points straight into that swing bucket. We've protected our home stuff, no drama, we move on. We look at the manageable games, guys. Here we had Everton away, we had Bournemouth away, we had Nottingham Forest away. Now, 2 wins and a draw gives us 7 points. Forest away wasn't going to be easy, guys, especially with Sean Dyche and, how he likes to set up his teams and all of that. But this bucket was meant to be tilting towards a win-heavy bucket, right, with less draws in there. Now, a draw doesn't kill anything, but what it does is that it just gives you less wiggle room going forward. And then there's Liverpool. That was a gauntlet game. And from the start, the rule was simple. You don't need to win this, you just can't lose both. So Arsenal drew. That's 1 point from a possible four we're targeting in this bucket. Kind of still on track. It's fine quietly. It keeps that City game a little bit flexible. And I'll tell you what I mean about that. Now, I also want to read out a couple of comments from the last video we did because they're worth addressing, right? So, one of you said that you can't think about games this way. Every match has to be a must win. And I actually agree with that. From a player perspective, this isn't dressing room messaging, right? This is just season modeling. Ateta keeps it simple. We are allowed to overthink, right? Now, who someone said home form is everything. So this was actually a Liverpool fan. So Hong Kyon Leong 9336 seems like a reasonable roadmap since your video. Arsenal have won 4 more games as of 6th of January 26. You seem to be well on course to the title, but there will be some nervous moments before the end. Though I am a Liverpool fan, I'll prefer Arsenal to take the title rather than City. Appreciate that. You will probably beat us this week at the Emirates. So when he wrote this, we're about to play Liverpool. Well, we know how that went. Points were shared. And then he said, but cannot afford to lose to City away. Your in-depth analysis was very interesting. Good luck to you. Yeah, I appreciate that too, as well. Always good to see other fans, who are chipping in into this as well. Um, so MMS069 said Wolves away should also be a banquet as well as West Ham away. Now I appreciate that, but those two teams are fighting for relegation, so I think there's gonna be a lot of tricky games ahead. But let's get back to our updates. And hey, I appreciate all of you that have been sending your comments, and I do want to hear what you think about the model so far. Now, here's where the season really pivots, right? Because between now and Manchester City in April, Arsenal have 9 games. And these 9 games decide whether City away feels like a massive season defining night or just another very hard away fixture, right? So let's talk through those 9 games. Um, so we've got 2 games from the banking bucket, right? Everton at home and Bournemouth at home. It's no question, no debate here. So we shouldn't overthink this. We've got to win both, right? So that's 6 points. Then in the manageable game bucket, we've got Leeds away, Brentford away, Brighton away, and Wolves away. If Arsenal come out of those with 3 wins and a draw, that's 10 points. That's serious title form, right? And then you've got the swing games, the emotional games. These are the Man United at home, which Arsenal play Man United a week from now. Spurs away, Chelsea at home. You don't need perfection here. But if Arsenal take 2 wins and a draw, that's 7 points. Okay. So you put that together. If Arsenal take around 23 points from this 9 games, the City game changes completely. So the aim isn't to beat City at Etihad. The aim is not to need to beat City at the Etihad. That's how you remove the pressure in a title race. So we're gonna leave it for now. This was just a quick check-in. I think your bucket and the road to 90 is still very much alive. Some buckets have delivered, some have tightened, and the next 9 games will tell us everything that we need to know. But I'd love to hear what you think. Do you agree with this roadmap? Which bucket worries you most as Arsenal fan? And when should we check back in to see where things are? Maybe game week 26, game week 30, or maybe just before the City away game? Drop it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll keep updating the road to 90 together. I'll see you in the next one.